All right, shalom, shalom. I'm going to start off facing east, giving all glory and praises to Yahweh, Ba'Shem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'Shem Kakodash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone, GMS. Salutations to all the Akims, the brothers, and the Aquas, the few sisters. Puts in his truth, the 144,000 hopeful elects, the brother Yashar coming in from the camp. Children of light. And I'm going basically, man, it's gonna be real simple. I'm gonna be doing a lesson on this article, as you can see. It's called Hidden Tyranny. And I'm gonna be reading from this article. I'm gonna be reading from the article, speaking on the article, touching on it, but also filtering it through the scriptures. Reading definitely is fundamental. Now I see why the elder had me go through these articles in different books, because you read it and then you see that it's actually applying directly to your life and everybody around you in this whole society, this whole world, especially in America. I just did a lesson a few days ago on the book, The Hidden Secrets of Freemasonry, from what's her name, Kathy Bates. And honestly, between that book and this article, I'm gonna have to combine it. I plan on making a playlist, and I think I'm gonna title it Exposing the Elites. All right, but let's get into it. So this is off page 16. As you can see, it says the light dawns. All right, now we already know Esau, his spiritual counterpart is the physical form of Satan, Lucifer, Hiel, the light bearer, right? Because he has the light bearer of this world. And if you remember Universal Studios, the ones who make the movies, they literally show you, and they opening before the movies that they produce, they'll show the earth, and they'll show that dawn of light coming on the whole earth. So through Esau's symbolism, his media, all these different things, they showing you, yes, we are the light bearers of the world, right? So without further ado, is read it. I'm only gonna do page 16 and 14. That's gonna be the part 1 of this video, and the second half will be part 2, because I don't know how long it's gonna be. I didn't want to jumble it all up, but let's read it. So this is from page 16 of the Hidden Tyranny, paragraph 1. This is Rosenthal. I gotta get his first name. Walter White Harold. No, I don't know. I gotta get his first name. It says, rarely does any man confess the intimacy of his soul as Mr. And he's being interviewed. So we got two people speaking. Rarely does any man confess the intimacy of his soul as did Mr. Rosenthal. Hindsight suggests that there was a greater force compelling this man to reveal what has been written here. The remainder of the interview seems to confirm this. All right. And when it says hindsight suggests that there was a greater force compelling this man to reveal what has been written here, right? And that compelling force is Satan himself, the spiritual Satan, right? We'll go to Ephesians chapter 6, verse 12, which, that's a household scripture. And yes, that is true, because these, for us prophets, the hopeful elect, we don't just wake up and just think, oh, I'm gonna get on YouTube and put this lesson together. Because honestly, in this world, if you're thinking worldly, what does it profit you to make videos on YouTube and you only getting 5, 10 views, right? 100 views, when you got people doing comedy and podcasts and skits and all these different things, getting hundreds of thousands, even millions of views, and actually getting paid for it. They looking at us like, what the hell y'all doing? And we looking at them like, damn, y'all really prospering. But the reason that we doing this on the right-hand side of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai is we know that we have an even bigger reward in the kingdom, right? Remember, Yahweh Shai said, behold, I cometh with my reward quickly, all right? And on the same thing for Esau. They not just doing this. They don't just do what they do just to make it look good. No, they doing this for a certain cause, all right? To please a higher being so that they can keep they continue with money and growth and basically wellness of this world. They can keep all that going. Remember, Esau was given the blessings of the heavens and the blessing of the earth and the dew of heavens, which means your money, your residuals, all that. But we're going to get into it. Ephesians chapter 6, verse 12. For we wrestle not against flesh and blood, meaning just man and woman, mankind. No, we ain't wrestling. We don't deal with just the humans, all right, human beings, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of the darkness of this world, against spiritual wickedness in high places. That's what we dealing with. That's why you look at the music you listen to, the things you watch on TV, the different stores you can go into, all these different things is that Satan tapping into your mind, trying to get you to be distracted from what's really going on in his true agenda, right? And like I said, we're going to get, hey, bear with me, brothers. We're going to get there. We're going to debunk all this, all right? So that's the first point. Depending on how long this is, I might just do the whole lesson. Might not be a part 2, but we will see. So let's see. Paragraph 2 to 3. It says, since, this is Rosenthal speaking, since we do not believe in a life after death, all our efforts are directed to the now, right? Esau wanted now. Like Mr. Krabs or SpongeBob, money, money, money. How can I get paid now, today? I ain't trying to wait a week. I ain't trying to wait 2 weeks. How they be having us waiting, getting paid weekly and bi-weekly? They want it now, right? They're trying to figure out how they can gain and profit now, not tomorrow. We'll worry about tomorrow when we get there. Right now, let's focus on today. Since we do not believe in a life after death, all our efforts are directed to the now. We're not as foolish as you, which they mean the average American person, and will never adopt an ideology that is rooted in self-sacrifice, right? Because these devils, they don't work for nobody else. They work for themselves. See, we subject. The scriptures even tell us we subject to payments. Even if you own a house in America, you technically don't own that house, all right? If you don't own that land, well, it goes deeper than that, but if you can buy something in America, you don't even own it, all right? That can actually legally be taken away from you, right? It says, paragraph 3, whereas you will live and die for the benefit of the community, we will live and die for our own individual self. That's the Edomites talking. The idea of self-sacrifice is abhorred by Jews. It is abhorrent to me, which means, suicide. No cause is worth dying for, since death is the end. The only time, and I said suicide, but honestly, when you look at these jobs and shit, that's suicide. You got people, they're 20, 30 years working. I used to work with dude. He had brain damage. He had to go cancer and all this. That's self-sacrifice. You literally self-sacrificing. You sacrificing yourself for somebody's business and establishment. They don't care if you die. You can die tomorrow and they're gonna hire 3 more people to replace you, another person to replace you. All right, so that just shows you how these elites, they have everything set up on F everybody else. Let's make sure we good. But it's okay, because this is the end of their rulership, kingdomship. They probably even got less than 5 years. Yahweh Bashim Yahshua Ratazah. It says, paragraph 4, the only time we unite is to preserve our individual selves. As a group of wolves unite to attack a prey, but then disperse after each is filled, so we Jews unite when peril is pending, not to preserve our community, but to save our own skin. And they showed you that in the movie Leave the World Behind, when he said, I got some friends, they part of this cabal, and they tell us that we can't do nothing, we can't change what's gonna happen, we can only prepare for it, right? Hope for the best, prepare for the worst, right? And that's their lines right up. That's why they showed us these things in these movies. And for the most part, it just goes over our head. We don't really think about it until we learn something like this. And until we sit down and read something like this. You got to have the spirit of Yahweh Shai to activate your mind to do something like this. Otherwise, you would just be reading 31 pages of something you don't even really know what it's talking about. All right, that's what the average Jake. They not trying to, wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of thy times and strength of thy salvation. Isaiah 33:6. So Jake, he ain't seeking salvation. He's seeking that bread, that mucho dinero, right? In this lifetime. He don't know we gonna have all that in the kingdom plus, right? So let me take it back to Wisdom of Solomon. So when it says paragraph 2, since we do not believe in life after death, all our efforts are directed to the now. We are not as foolish as you and will never adopt an ideology that is rooted in self-sacrifice. Right, so let's go ahead and expose these devils exactly what they saying with the scriptures. This is Wisdom of Solomon chapter 2, verse 1. For the ungodly, which we know who that is, Esau, reasoning with themselves but not aright, our life is short and tedious, and in the death of the man there is no remedy. So Esau understand we only got 60 to 70, maybe 80 years on this earth before we die, and everything we had is just there, left over. Neither was there any man known to have returned from the grave. All right. For when you die, that's it. You know, we know Ecclesiastes 12 and 7, your spirit go back up to the Most High. And then after 3 or 4 generations, you come back down. You know, the Lord, he can send you back down the next year after that. You can be a baby, a newborn baby again. But, you know, we know that that's a process. That's the time. You don't get to take what you had on this earth with you into heaven. That's why all these rappers, when I die, bury me with $1 million. You sound stupid. You really sound stupid. Verse 2, for we are born at all adventure, and we shall be hereafter as though we had never been. For the breath in our nostrils is as smoke, and a little spark in the moving of our heart. Right, that's your spirit. Which being extinguished, our body shall be turned into ashes, and our spirit shall vanish as the soft air. And our name shall be forgotten in time, and no man shall have our works in remembrance. And our life shall pass away as the trace of a cloud, and shall be dispersed as a mist that is driven away with the beams of the sun, and overcome with the heat thereof. Verse 5, for our time is a very shadow that passeth away, and after our end there is no returning, for it is fast sealed, so that no man cometh again. Right. And that's why, referring back to the article, that's why Esau said, I'm going to read it one more time. Since we do not believe in life after death, all our efforts are directed to the now. We are not as foolish as you and will never adopt an ideology that is rooted in self-sacrifice. Whereas you will live and die for the benefit of the community, we will live and die only for our individual self. And how do we know that that's true? Let's keep going. Verse 6, it says, come on, therefore, let us enjoy the good things that are present. Remember, now, present is now, all right? Future tense. You got future tense, meaning in the future. You got past tense, meaning what happened. You got present tense, meaning now, what's happening now. Wisdom of Solomon 2 and 6. Come on, therefore, let us enjoy the good things that are present, and let us speedily use the creatures like as in youth. Who is the creatures? We the creatures. Remember, the scriptures say the creatures are subject unto vanity, which is sin. Was that talking about an ant? I wasn't talking about no ant. Was that talking about a lion? Was that talking about a beast, a beetle, bug? No, that's talking about humans. So Esau telling us, let us speedily use the humans like as in the youth. That's why at my last job you had the three, I called them the three Migos, because they was 3 older Northern Kingdom guys, 60, 55, 50, right? And I'm talking about, I used to see them limping. I used to see them having to pick up stuff and struggling to do it. And I kind of like feel bad, like, dang, should I go help them? But then I got to do my work. That's called using the creatures speedily as a youth. Everybody wasn't around 24 fit and active like I was, ready to just work and get it over with. Everybody wasn't built like that. You know, I just gave the examples of the men, even though that they wasn't even built like I am, they have to do damn near the same work I have to do, if not more. And that's not right. Verse 7, let us fill ourselves with costly wine and ointments, and let no flower of the spring pass by us. Elon Musk, Jeff Bezos, they not drinking no Hennessy. They not drinking no Paul Masson. They not drinking no $20 wine bottles. They got the best of the best. They got wine that is Jeff Bezos got a whole garden or farmland in Seattle. I remember the elder was telling me. You can look it up as well, brothers. You think he out there, if you got a whole wine press with grapes, fresh grapes, you think he got finna go to the store? Let me buy this $10 wine bottle. Hell no. They got the best of the best everything. If they want the best of the best women, nothing to it. If they all they gotta do, and we know Esau ain't got flavor, so how he gonna get the best of the best women? He gonna spend their bread. They got the best of the best foods. They don't have to. They get to pet they cow. They food is like they pets. They don't have to wait for a store to bring a delivery and some frozen beef, and they gotta take it home and thaw it out, and it expired in 3 days, so you gotta eat all of it or it's going bad. No, they beef and they animals. They petting them. They giving them names. They making sure that they got all the necessary nutrients they need and all that. They consume the best of the best. That's why I tell you, let us fill ourselves with costly wine and ointments. They smell the best. They got all that. Even though they the only race that can get lice. That's the curse for them. And let no flower of the spring pass by us. Right. They not eating no tuna cans that expire in 3 years. Hell no. Fuck no. What? They giving that to us for $1.80 at the grocery store and shit. You know what I'm saying? They got the best of the best. Verse 8, let us crown ourselves with rosebuds before they be withered. Right. The best herbs, the best gardens. Let none of us go without his part of voluptuousness, which means indulging in pleasure or luxury. We all heard about it. What's the Gilligan's Island? Ain't that where they take all the little girls? And right, T.I. and Tiny, they know about it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, Jake got a little pool. He ain't got Esau pool, but he got a little pool in his world, so he can get to go and experiment and do different things. But guess what? Them angels reported that to Yahweh Shah, and he gonna make you pay for it. That's why T.I.'s son, Major, little dude, the blonde hair, that's why he all effed up. Because he ain't nothing but a sacrifice. You sell your soul to us, we gonna take your son and your kids and make them to the next new generation actors and entertainers so they can lead, so they can follow in your footsteps. But we just gonna tweak with them a little bit. Remember, T.I. was all gangster, rap, trap. Your son is a punk with fake grills in his mouth and blonde hair. You know what I'm saying? So Esau has done a very great job of tearing up the Israelite community, you know. Verse 9, let none of us go without his part of our voluptuousness. Let us, right, so they looking out for everybody. They looking out for their brothers, for their uncles, their nephews, their grandfathers, their great grandchildren. Oh no, don't worry about that. We gonna put 500,000 to the side, so when my great grandson turns 18, he won't have no problem going into a college, scholarship or not. That's how they do it. Let us leave tokens of our joyfulness in every place, for this is our portion and our lot is this. Right, their lot is the world. Job 9:24. And when it means let us leave tokens in different places, think about it. Esau, he got a military base. What, like Elder Tahar always going on this way. 800 something military bases around the world. He got museums all around the world. He used the iconoclasm. You would think somebody like they had the poet back then named Jerome. When you Google it, we all know Jerome is like particular, even though like the elder was saying, all these names we got go back to Esau anyways. Like my last name Quarles, that's a whole English name, like, you know, and we know how that happened, right? You know, Smith, you know, Johnson, right? But Jerome is particularly a Judite name, right? But why they got Jerome, you Wikipedia him, he was from like 1600s, but he looked like a white man. I ain't never seen a white man named Jerome, you know. So all different types of things that they do, man, and it's all built off lies, man, and falsehood, you know. So we about 20 minutes in. Yeah, brothers. I'm gonna stop it right there. This is part 1 of the hidden tyranny, exposing the elitist. So yeah, I'm gonna start that. I'm gonna stop it here, part 1, just so it won't be too long. Hope you was edified, and we got part 2 coming. Shalom.